So in financial planning, people often talk about the 4% rule, and most recently people are saying the 4% rule is dead, doesn't work anymore. The 4% rule came from a man named William Bengen in 1994, is when it was probably most widely used. And basically that concept is you take your retirement savings and you would multiply that times 4%, and that's what you can live on per year. After the first year of retirement, you would take that 4% and then add the inflation that you participate in over the last year. So inflation is 2%. You just simply add that 2% to the 4, and then you keep compounding that going forward, and that you could get through your life without running out of money. What's interesting is there's a new movement out there that's picking up speed. It's called the FIRE movement, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And Vanguard did a study for those investors. So their whole lifestyle is basically minimalist. Live on as little as possible and save as much as possible so you can retire sooner. So these people may not be looking at a 30-year retirement. They may be looking at a 50-year retirement. So in this study, Vanguard went back and looked at historical data. So now, not to get super technical, but when we do financial planning, we use what they call Monte Carlo simulation. So we're looking at 1,000 possibilities going forward in financial planning to come up with a probability of success. That Monte Carlo simulation is known to be more conservative than just using historical rates of return. But based on historical rates of return, it was interesting that the 4% rule, even today with bonds being depressed, the 4% rule still works over a 30-year time period. What doesn't work is when you start adding time to that. So if you're going to retire 20 years sooner, you have a 50-year time horizon. That in the 4% rule only had like a 36% probability of you not running out of money before age 95 using that. So when you look at a 4% rule, what I like to see is a time span inside 30 years, plus being able to look at long time horizons, more in a Monte Carlo simulation where you're looking at some very drastic changes in the market, maybe something like COVID, the COVID drop, or worst case scenario like a financial crisis. Could you still be able to survive? Another angle too is how you plan long-term for an early retirement is flexible spending. So you'd be able to have a minimum and a maximum that you can spend. So every year that the market's making more than your expectation, which could be 5.5%, 6%, you can allow yourself to spend a little more. In years where the market's down, like what we're going through now, you'd have to spend a little less. So taking that approach on a 50-year time horizon actually works out pretty well, but just not a hard 4% number. Anyway, hope this helps. Hope this clears up the 4% rule a little bit for the rest of us. Most of us who are targeting a 30-year retirement, 4% rule is still alive and well, and the fear surrounding it not working typically is because someone's trying to sell you something. Have a great day.